Ladies and gentlemen, you know there's a lot of horror movies out there, and it is October the 28th right now. We're 3 days out from Halloween, and you know there's a lot of horror movies and haunted attractions and people dressing up as, you know, evil characters. But actually, ironically, November the 4th, 2014 can have very evil consequences in real life, a real nightmare. So I need you to get out there and vote. And I need you to do me a favor. Whether you're the most liberal Democrat or progressive, or most conservative Republican, I need you to rise above your own self-interest. Include your self-interest, by all means. But rise above it. I'm asking my Republican friends and my Democratic friends to vote bipartisanly and cross political lines. I need Republicans to vote for Democrats. We cannot afford to have the Democrats lose the Senate. We must not let that happen. Why? Because we cannot, must not, will not let the Affordable Health Care Act be repealed, or Obamacare. Now, many of you are thrilled about the prospect of having it repealed, but that's because you have been lied to. Maybe the system hasn't worked for you yet. Maybe it's actually increased your premiums. Maybe bad things have happened because the kinks have not been worked out. But ladies and gentlemen, I submit to you that if you should decide to repeal the Affordable Health Care Act or Obamacare, you are consigning your fellow Americans to death, disease, and suffering. Now, obviously, it would be disease, suffering, and death. But the problem with repealing the Affordable Health Care Act is that before the Affordable Health Care Act, people that have pre-existing conditions could not get health care in many cases, and there's a lot of people that could not get access to health care at any price. Perfect example, there's a gentleman named David Sharp of the Empower Network. He's no longer there right now because he's working on recovering from hepatitis C. He already disclosed this publicly, so it's no big secret. I'm not breaking his confidence. He is a multi-millionaire, but because he had a pre-existing condition, before the health care law, even he could not receive treatment at any price. And that's the key that you need to think about. At any price. The insurance companies would not cover him. There are millions upon millions, tens of millions, maybe as much as 80 million people that have pre-existing conditions that could not get insurance. We must not allow the Affordable Health Care Act to be repealed. And I need each and every one of you, Democrat, conservative, Republican, Democrat, Tea Partier, liberal, progressive, independent, green, libertarian, to come together. Not because you like the law, not because you want the law, but because the law is saving lives. The law is allowing people to live and to be able to seek treatment. There are cancer patients that could not get treatment or could not get enough or the correct treatment that are now being saved, or at least having a fighting chance to beat cancer. We talked about the Susan G. Komen campaign to stop breast cancer in the month of October. Well, October's going to end, but our fight will not. I'm asking you to rise above your own self-interest and vote in Democrats so that we can keep the Affordable Health Care Act. Now, I want you to understand that pre-existing conditions under the insurance codes before this law were so extreme, were so insane, that having a child and becoming pregnant was considered a pre-existing condition. Yes, you heard me right. Having a baby and procreating, to all the Christian people out there, and I love everybody, God gave you a directive to procreate and populate the earth, right? Well, the insurance company said, well, that's a pre-existing condition. We're not going to cover you. So a lot of women couldn't get certain medical treatments when they needed it, couldn't get certain surgeries when they needed it, because of a pre-existing condition. So what you may know about this law, and when you may not know about this law, is affecting millions of people. We need this law. And I ask you to think first of yourself as an American, not as a Democrat, not as a Republican, not as whatever political stripe you are, whatever sexual preferences you have, but as an American. We, the people of the United States of America, in order to form a more perfect union. I want you to look at this as your patriotic duty. Now, to the Republicans in Congress or Democrats that want to repeal this law, I say to you, you are a traitor. I mince no words, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not the guy that tiptoes through the tulips. I'm the guy that slaps you upside the head verbally. So we're going to continue this conversation. But understand, if we repeal this law, our fellow Americans, many of them, will die.